If you're considering moving to Clarksburg, Maryland, then this video is for you. I'm going to go over the good and the bad, the pros and cons of living in Clarksburg, Maryland, so you can determine whether or not it's the right place for you to move to. So let's just jump right into it. Hey everyone, my name is Eddie and I'm a realtor here in Maryland. And if this is your first time visiting the channel, thank you for being here. I make videos like this every single week with the market updates, the best places to live, and everything you need to know before making a move to Maryland. So if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. And before we dive into the pros and cons, here are some quick facts about Clarksburg, Maryland. It's located in northern Montgomery County in between Frederick and Washington, D.C., and it sits right on top of Interstate 270, which is the main highway that connects Frederick and Washington, D.C. It covers about 10 square miles and has a population at the time of this video of just over 28,000 residents. And niche.com gives it an overall ranking of an A+, and at the time of this video, they also rank it as the 13th best suburb in Maryland to buy a house and the 15th best suburb in Maryland to raise a family. So what's so good about living in Clarksburg? Well, let's start off with the first pro, which is the location. And with it being located right on Interstate 270 in between Frederick and Washington, D.C., it is the ideal commuter location. So if you're looking for somewhere where the drive to D.C. is much shorter than a place like Frederick, Clarksburg is going to be on the top of your list. And with it being located on the northern end of Montgomery County, it's also the perfect location to take advantage of what they have going on in Frederick and also in Germantown. And if you're not familiar with Frederick or Germantown, the reason it's so good to be in between both of those areas is that that's where a ton of the shopping, the dining, the doctor's offices are. So being in between those is a really big perk. Speaking of going shopping, that brings us to the second pro of living in Clarksburg, which is the things to do. Clarksburg is home to the Clarksburg Premium Outlets, where you have 96 stores and restaurants right at the heart of Clarksburg, right off of I-270, and it's even within walking distance of housing in Clarksburg. So it's a huge draw to the area and a big reason why people choose to move here. And as far as outdoor activities go, you have Black Hills Regional Park right nearby, which is a 2,000-acre park with tons of walking and hiking and biking trails, as well as a massive lake that you can go paddleboarding on. You can go kayaking, boating. They even have boat rentals there. You can go fishing. So if you're into the outdoors, you're going to have no shortage of activities in the Clarksburg area. You also have Little Bennett Regional Park, which is an even larger outdoor park. It does not have a lake, but it's 3,700 acres of parkland with 25 miles of hiking, mountain biking, and horse riding trails. And you also have the drive-in campgrounds there. You also have walking campgrounds and the Little Bennett Regional Golf Course. And you don't have to go to parks in Clarksburg to get outside. There are multiple paved walking paths all throughout Clarksburg connecting the developments that you can go on. So you can usually just walk right out your door, get on your sidewalk, and end up on walking trails all throughout Clarksburg. And just outside of Clarksburg itself, you have Topgolf in Germantown, which is just a 10 or 15 minute drive depending on where you live in Clarksburg. And it's a really popular place for people to go. And again, you're just outside of downtown Frederick, which is an entire video in itself. I've actually made dozens of videos on Frederick, but I made one specifically on 24 hours in Frederick, where to spend an entire day there. So if you're interested, I'll link that above. But why else are people moving to Clarksburg? Well, I'd say one of the biggest draws is pro number 3, which is the schools. And that's because the Montgomery County Public School System is the second best school system in Maryland, according to niche.com, and is the #1 best school system in Maryland for athletes. And if you look at this map from niche.com, you'll see that the schools in Clarksburg all have an A rating, which is so hard to find anywhere across Maryland. But in Montgomery County, being one of the better school districts, this is what you run into. And again, this is a huge reason why people are determining to live in Clarksburg. But what is not great about living here? Well, I'd say con number 1 of living in Clarksburg is the traffic. And that's because it's great that it sits on Interstate 270, but at the same time, that means that there is a ton of traffic if you need to commute to work. And not only that, the closer you get to Washington, D.C., the more traffic you get. And with Clarksburg being mostly developed other than the parkland, you have a lot of people living in this area, which means other than the actual residential areas, the main roadways can be pretty crowded. There's also no train system that goes from Clarksburg to DC. So as far as public transportation goes, there is no relief there. You have to drive to get to work or take a bus, but there is no train. So it just adds to the traffic on the highways. And the second con of living in Clarksburg is the dining options. Now, I know I told you that the shopping options here are amazing because you have the Clarksburg Premium Outlets, but there's only a few restaurants there, and other than the Clarksburg Village Center, which has a few as well, there are not a lot of options as far as dining goes in Clarksburg. Now, the best part about this is you're only just a few minutes away, or really 10 minutes or less, from all of the dining you could possibly need in Germantown. And you could also go into downtown Frederick quickly and go to all of those local restaurants as well. But in Clarksburg itself, you are not going to have a huge amount of dining options. And the third con of living in Clarksburg is the lack of housing inventory. When you have a place as popular as Clarksburg, that means so many people are wanting to live here. And houses, when they hit the market, get snapped up like that. So we have very little on the market. And at the time of this video, we only have 18 homes in all of Clarksburg for sale. 11 of those are single-family detached homes, 6 of those are townhomes, and 1 of them is a condo. So again, that is so slim as far as options go, and it's no wonder that the home values are what they are here. And at the time of this video, the median price point for a home in Clarksburg is $664,290. And with it being such a popular place for people to move to, that means new construction builders are trying to build on as much land as possible here, which is very tough in Montgomery County for good reason. They try to preserve as much as their open space and land as possible, but there have still been some major developments in recent years in Clarksburg. One of those being Cabin Branch, which is just finishing up. The only houses left there are 55 plus, being built by Stanley Martin. But on the other side of Clarksburg Road, there's a brand new development called Creekside at Cabin Branch, which is just opening up. They're selling townhomes from the high 5s and single family homes from the low 8s. And that's going to open up an entire new section of Clarksburg that you could shop. And with housing options being so slim in Clarksburg, if you are considering moving here, you need to start your search sooner than later so that you can start tracking properties as they hit the market. And if that's you, if you're interested in moving to Clarksburg and this video hasn't deterred you with the cons, if the pros are what are drawing you to this area, please reach out to me. I would be happy to get a plan together for you and your move. And the best way to do that is to go into the description or the link in the comments and click on that to get a one-on-one consultation with me. And I'll get you set up with everything that you need in order to shop in Clarksburg or any of the surrounding areas and help you find your new home here in Maryland. And if you're a local watching this video, let me know in the comments below, what did I miss? What are pros that I missed? What are cons that I missed about living in Clarksburg? And as always, if you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe so you stay up to date on all of my videos about moving to Maryland.